All
Good
right,
afternoon.
Apologies. Go ahead, Chairman. We're live.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order our meeting today of the Pitt County Department of Social Services Board. Tuesday, April the 13th is 2021, and we will observe a moment of silent prayer or silent meditation to begin our meeting today. Okay, thank you. So Susan, we have anything for public comment today?
No, sir, not at this time.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move on. And so you've received your packet and hopefully you've had a chance to review it. And so I'd like to have a motion to either adopt or revise today's agenda. If there's no revisions, a motion to adopt.
It's a motion.
And is there a second?
Second.
Okay, and Susan, if you could call the roll so we could
Chair Cox,
approve.
Vice Chair Bunch,
Approve.
Mr. Dancy,
Approved.
Ms. Nelson,
Approve.
Ms. Perkins Williams,
I think she's still having microphone problems. She gave you a thumbs up.
Okay, thank you, Jan. So we're going to go through the same process. In your packet, you had last month's minutes, and we will need a motion to approve those if there's no revisions.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second, okay. And Susan, if we could go through the same process, please.
Chair Cox,
Approve.
Vice Chair Bunch,
Approve.
Mr. Dancy,
Approved.
Ms. Nelson,
Approve.
Ms. Perkins Williams. She just gave a thumbs up.
Okay, we have to get instruction in terms of where we're seeing the thumbs up. So,
On the chat screen.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, kind of moving on. I'm going to turn it over to Miss Elliott, and we're going to do our employee recognition portion of our agenda today. And Jan, I'll turn it over to you.
I should try and do the share screen. And can y'all see my screen?
We can, thank you.
Good, because I figured something out different. Okay. So we're excited to have our new employees with us. This is one of our newest folks. This is Samantha Cuevas. I have to think about the last name. Samantha's in our income maintenance program. We have Dara Cheval. She is an income maintenance supervisor. She's supervising our front desk now and has been with us a couple of times. So we're excited to have her back. We have Bree Wilson, who's in our income maintenance section. We have Sophia Edmonds, who's joined us as a temporary social worker 1 to help with our eviction prevention program.
Wonderful.
So we're thrilled to have her. I'm going to also quickly go through our service awards. We have for 5 years, this recognition time period was Yolanda Antoinette Bowens, Ashley Nicole Moore, Nicole Sawyer, Natasha Staten, Fallon Thomason, Charlene Ward, Brenda Williams, and Shanita Witherspoon. Our 15-year folks were Keisha Adams Council, Teresa Sampson, and Jennifer Stroud. So we are really proud of those folks and the work that they've done for the agency over the years. So we now want to recognize our person who is not a new hire, but she is a retiree. And at the end of this month, Nellie King will be retiring from the agency after around 22 years of service with Pitt County. She has worked as an emergency office assistant. She was promoted to an income maintenance caseworker 1 for about 6 years. She then applied to do public information work, and she has been primarily, since I've been here, working at the front desk, greeting all of our wonderful customers and being one of those pleasant folks that you see, and picking up the switchboard when needed. So we're going to really miss Nellie at the end of the month, and we're wishing her a wonderful retirement.
Oh, congratulations and welcome. And I've gotten to know Nellie as I've come over to sign things, and she does. She does a wonderful job at the front desk. I've enjoyed talking to Nellie. So again, welcome to the new folks, and congratulations to those that received recognition today. And thank you, Jan. So next on our agenda is items for review, and we're going to hear from Cynthia Ross today about the opening of the adult in-home service bid proposals. And I remember doing this in the past. So Cynthia, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yes, this isn't new for most of you and new for a few. Each time that the contract is up for renewal, we open bids. They get presented to us. We advertise. They get presented to us sealed, and we open them up during the meeting. These bids will contain the company, their contract, their price. So we open them up during the meeting. We are currently being served by Interim.
Interim, okay.
And Bartays Enterprises, Bartays Enterprises is the first one. So they've presented a package, and their bid is $19.40 an hour. Second one is from Bayada.
So what is that, Cynthia?
Bayada,
Say that again.
B-A-Y-A-D-A, Home Healthcare, Bayada Home Healthcare. Sorry, the mask makes it a little more complicated.
Good. No.
I've got Priscilla in here with me, but she's over there. Give me just a second. All of them have it presented just a little bit different. Their bid is for $18 an hour. Sorry, that took me a minute to find. They had it. And the third is by Interim, I-N-T-E-R-I-M Healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
And their bid is for $16 an hour. So that would be the three. We received 3 bids.
Thank you, Cynthia. So what's the process now? What's the next?
So I'm going to switch over to Priscilla. Priscilla Delano is our supervisor who has been managing this through our last bid proposal process, and she can answer. There's some interviews, there's some specific processes, but she can walk you through our next steps from opening the bids.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'm in the same office as Cynthia. I think there's a little bit of an echo. Okay, hopefully that's better. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on one second. Let me turn my volume up. Okay, can you guys hear me okay?
You're good. Mhm.
Okay, thank you. So currently we are contracted with interim healthcare, and that will run out at the end of the fiscal year, June 30th. So our current rate with interim is $15.25 per hour. Our next steps here, now that we've opened the bids, will be to contact each of the companies, schedule interviews with them, just to go over some of their work processes, see how they would be to work with as a company. And then we would make a recommendation and propose that to you all at the next board meeting of who we're recommending to award the contract to.
Mhm.
And switch back to Cynthia just a sec.
Yeah, just mute yourself. There, that way you can hear the question. Sorry, got to work out these technical
No,
difficulties.
you're good, Cynthia. Thank you very much. And thanks for that. Does anybody have any questions for our guests?
You can still respond.
So do we have a timeline to do this in terms of things?
You would make your decision at the May meeting.
Okay,
So that'll give us 30 days to do our evaluation, and then we can, once we award that, then it gives us time to process through and actually get folks on board, ready to start July 1.
makes sense. Are there any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you, and we'll look forward to hearing from you in May, and look forward to hear what your decision is. Thank you, Cynthia. Okay, moving on, we have items for discussion now, and we're going to hear about, I guess, from the child welfare staff in terms of the activities surrounding Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month.
Okay, so I believe we've got several of the folks at the meeting. So who's going to kick it off from child welfare?
Keisha will, she can share her screen if allowed. I had computer problems. I apologize.
Okay, well, I've got this. I think I've already got the got
Slideshow.
it picked up. Can
Okay.
y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, everyone. As you all know, April is Child Abuse Awareness Month. It was started initially in 1979. The first National Child Abuse Prevention Month was held in 1979, and 4 years later, President Ronald Reagan formally established April as Child Abuse Prevention Month. I'm going to go over some of the stats. So in 2020, CPS, we screened in 1,106 reports. We screened out 485 reports. And out of the screen-ins, 145 were abuse reports. So those were the reports screened in for either physical, sexual abuse, moral turpitude, human trafficking, emotional abuse. So those all fell into the abuse category. And like I said, there were 145 of those cases. So far this year, and this is going through March, the screen-ins, we've screened in 284 reports for 2021. We've screened out 110 reports as of March. And we've, out of that 284, there were 8 abuse cases. I did check, and as of today, we've screened in 324 reports as of April the 13th, and we've screened out 122 reports. So that's just a little bit of more information. All right, so April 1st, we kicked off our child abuse prevention by wearing the Wear Blue Day, where the workers were encouraged to wear blue. We have t-shirts, as you can see in the picture, with some of the social workers having on their t-shirts and jeans. That was our kickoff. It was in conjunction with Teddy Bear. We did our annual pinwheel garden, and the social work staff, as well as teddy bear staff, came out and we planted pinwheels in the garden in front of the county office building. So these are some of the workers putting the pinwheels together and planting the garden. And as you can see, Miss Jan had the media there, and she did her information on what we were doing, child abuse prevention, just educating people to be aware and what to do if they suspect that a child is being abused, neglected, or is a dependent. And I have Monica Daniels here. She's going to talk about some more of the activities we have planned. We went out to the town commons.
Yes, and we,
Come on up.
excuse me, we went to the town commons. We requested that the city would light up the bridge from April 11th through the 17th in honor of Child Abuse Awareness Month. So some of us met together on Sunday. We took a picture at the bridge, and there's also a picture of what the bridge looks like when it's completely dark outside. And our final event for the month will be our Child Abuse Awareness Walk, and that will be at the Town Common on April the 24th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you.
So y'all
So-
can come on out and walk with us
Yes,
on April the 24th at 11 o'clock.
yes. And the proclamation will also be read.
Yeah, and the proclamation is going to be read. It won't be long. We won't have you out there for a 5K.
So I have a question for you, Keisha. Is the bridge is lit every night?
It's lit every night this week in blue.
That's pretty special. That's a great idea. That
Yes.
really is.
Mhm.
We also have signs at the end of the bridge promoting child abuse awareness.
Right.
So it's an opportunity for folks to learn a little bit too.
Yeah. And one of the signs have a barcode on the back. So if they take their phone and scan the code, it'll direct them to our link. And it has all different resources that we're involved with
Mhm.
Perfect.
so that they can be a connection, because that's the national theme, be a connection.
That's another great idea. I remember the event a couple years ago in the town commons when you guys set up down there. I believe it was on a Sunday and it was a full day of activities.
Yes.
Can't wait to do it again.
Yes. Well, we appreciate and the community appreciates your activities in this area, building awareness in this.
Keisha, I have a question.
Okay.
So with regard to the statistics you showed, do you have an age range of the ones from 2020 versus the 8 thus far in 2021?
I don't have it on hand, but I can get that information for you if you would like it.
I was curious as is that number in 2020 really elevated at the top number that you gave?
Compared to this time last
The
year.
screened in, I guess it was the.
Okay, the screening reports from 2020. The total was 1221, and currently it's like 324. So if we do it based on quarters, I think we're almost
About the
there,
same.
about the same.
But the substantiated ones would be, was that fairly high compared to like 19?
Well, we didn't give you the substantiated rates. We just did the screenings, meaning those that we actually went out on. So I didn't present data on the substantiation rate, but I can have that.
So tell me about the third, I don't have the screen in front of me, so I can't see it. So tell me about that third number. It's 185. Okay. So what number does that represent?
The 485, that's the ones that are screened out. Like if somebody calls in a report and it doesn't meet the criteria based on the state screening maltreatment tool, then it gets screened out.
Okay.
And we have a prevention unit, and some of those reports, not all of them, but some of those reports, we can refer the families to our prevention unit, and that is voluntary, but we do reach out to them.
Okay, thank you.
And Monica can talk a little bit more about the prevention unit.
Yeah. The prevention unit is a unit where, as Keisha stated, it's voluntary, and we connect individuals to resources within the community that will assist them so that they can keep their children in the home or prevent future reports coming into our agency.
So it's like a at-risk, the people got a report, they're at risk of becoming involved with child protective services. So to hopefully help prevent that, we refer them to the prevention unit.
Keisha, could you explain to us at what point they would be referred to prevention?
So say we get a report, we get a lot of reports about delinquent teenagers. It may not be a safety issue, but there are some things where we feel like if we get involved and we can link mom with maybe if the child needs some mental health services or some other resources to address some of those behaviors. It can be anything from housing, what those things?
Employment.
Yeah, employment. It's just that if they don't meet that criteria where it was screened out for neglect or abuse, but it's still to the point where we think we can work with the family, get them some resources in place, maybe Medicaid, food stamps, some of our resources that might aid in what the person alleged is an issue for the family, and we can identify some resources in-house or outsource them in the community, then we'll link the family with those resources. So it can be a wide range.
Sure. So is it only for referral? I mean, I guess not referrals, but for things that have been screened out?
Not necessarily.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah, they can call in. I think sometimes some medical providers have called in to prevention, things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions?
I see a hand from Mary Perkins Williams.
I'm in the chat. I don't see it.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I would like to know what was that date for the walk around on the bridge by the thing? I think she said April the 24th. Is that correct? What time?
Yes, April the 24th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we have any other questions? Okay, thank you. Thank you for that presentation. That was good information and that's good work. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. So next on our agenda, we have under items for discussion regarding board leadership discussion, and we had a brief discussion about this on our last month's meeting. And Dr. Bunch had initiated that discussion. And maybe I should start us off, Dr. Bunch, by just, I guess, noting the letter that you sent or the memo you sent regarding your status. Do you want me to do that?
Yes, that would be fine.
Okay, so I think that all of the board members received notice this week that as of April the 30th, Dr. Bunch is stepping down as the vice chair of our board. She's going to remain a member of the board, but just not in the capacity as vice chair. So I wanted to note that today, and then I'm going to, I guess, give Dr. Bunch an opportunity to kind of follow up on that.
Yes, Jim, I did, excuse me, yes, Mr. Chairman, I did submit that resignation due to some changes in my schedule. And so as we reviewed the terms from our last meeting, I do have 2 more years to serve on the board. And I reminded everyone at the last meeting that the chair and the vice chair are elected every year in July at our organizational meeting. And so as we move forward, I'm thinking that we will need to have an interim vice chair until a permanent vice chair can be voted on at our July meeting. And so that's kind of where we are at this point. In terms of other vacancies, we know Miss Catherine Nelson comes up. Her term ends June 30th, and she is appointed by the DSS board. So we need to start thinking about reappointments and election of officers.
Mhm. Thank you for that, Dr. Bunch. That's a good reminder, and we're glad you're staying on the board.
Yes, yes,
That's
yes.
a good thing. And I think in talking to Jan, what we'll probably do is put this on our agenda for next month. Dr. Bunch will serve through the end of this month, and then we will look to appoint an interim at May's meeting. Am I right?
That would be the way to go, I would think. And of course, we need to reach out to see if Ms. Nelson is willing to be reappointed because she is eligible for a second term.
Absolutely. So, okay, so that kind of lays that out, and I guess we will do that. We will be in touch with Ms. Nelson in terms of that, and just begin to think about reappointments and those issues as we move forward. So thank you, Dr. Bunch. Anybody have any more discussion on that? Okay, thank you very much. Now we're moving on to, we're going to hear from our Deputy Director, Dr. Augustine Frazier, and he has forwarded us a copy of his report, and I'm going to turn the meeting over to Dr. Frazier.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I sent in my report, and I will just briefly go through the highlights, and if you guys have questions, I will answer those. First, I will discuss the Medicaid, the CDBG. We launched our CDBG program on the 7th of April through the current backlog of evictions with the court system. Currently, we have 203 of those that we are reviewing. Last week, we contacted 52 landlords and processed 78 applications. And out of those 78, 9 tenants where landlords are not willing to work with 9 of those tenants, regardless if they pay their mortgages or bills or not. So we can refer those to other programs. But 68 of those may be eligible to participate in the CDBG grant program. There are a couple of challenges we are still working out. The managers will have to call their corporate offices to make sure they get the necessary approvals to participate in our program. However, we are working with the Property Association, the court system, the legal aid, and other external bodies to make sure that this is well organized, 1. 2, that we can also work out some of those logistics to make sure that each of those participants are catered to. And we also realized that the numbers are already given out. The phone number that they can call to the public is 252-751-9999. 252-751-9900. It's in Spanish and in English. So people can call those numbers now. We are hard launching this program on the 19th, full-fledged. Hopefully, whilst we work out some of the details with the DOC, Department of Commerce, North Carolina Department of Commerce. But however, regardless of what happens on the back end, this program is going to be hard launched on the 19th. If you have any questions, I will answer those now for the eviction prevention program. If there are no questions, I will go to the next program I want to update the board about. This is the Medicaid transformation. As we all know, North Carolina is transitioning into Medicaid transformation. It's called Medicaid Managed Care. For 2.3 million people who are currently enrolled in the Medicaid program, 1.6 of those are eligible to transition to Medicaid Managed Care. So what are the numbers here for Pitt County? In Pitt County, we have a little over 46,000 about eligible people who are participating in the Medicaid. 30,805 of those are eligible to transition into Medicaid Managed Care. The rest will have to be enrolled into the regular Medicaid. So last month, when it started, we have received 442 calls that we have sent over to the brokers. We are working with the PHPs, AmeriHealth, WellCare, Healthy Blue, and United Healthcare. On the 15th of April, we are doing a drive-through at the HSC so that we can also promote this program. We have billboards and yard signs across the city, and we also have the website carrying those messages, and as well as on our website, Facebook website. Hopefully, we are going to be able to attract as much people as we can to enroll into the choice, to enroll into the managed care. Because if they do not, they are going to be auto-enrolled. I think that is all I have for the Medicaid transformation. If you have any questions, I will answer those if I can.
Dr. Frazier, this is Jim. So how long do people have to enroll?
The enrollment is from March 15th to May 14th. 3/15 through 5/14, 1/4.
And then the process would be for people that don't enroll, they will be auto-enrolled.
Auto-enroll on the 15th, and the plan will kick in July 1.
Okay. And one more question I have in terms of the eviction diversion program,
Correct.
EBG program. You talked about launching it on April the 19th.
Right.
You know, I know that you've had an article in the paper. I saw the article in the paper. So will there be more announcements what's the rollout in terms of making the public aware, or what's that piece look like?
Well, the rollout is already in place.
Okay.
We are using the PIO,
Okay.
well, the information office, to roll out some of these issues. Most of these blasts are being sent out.
Okay.
We did have a television program that Brian Everett was interviewed. However, we are going to be able to send full details to the public to make sure they know that we are hard launching this program on the 19th.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So other questions for Dr. Frazier on either the Medicaid transformation or the CDBG grant? Okay, well, if not, we look forward to updates on both of these programs next month. And as I say, we look forward to that, to hearing and tracking the progress of these programs. Thank you, Dr. Frazier.
Yes.
Okay, we're moving right along here. We're going to move into the director's report. Jan, I'm going to turn things over to you.
Okay, couple of things, and I do want to say that for anybody who is, I'm gonna jump into Dr. Frazier's stuff for a second. For anybody who is truly interested in the Medicaid transformation, the drive-by at the Human Services Center on the 15th will give you a chance to meet each of the different prepaid health plan providers, so that folks can find out the differences and talk with them about the various things that they have to offer, because each of them are offering slightly different things. So I want to encourage folks to do that. I know we had something similar before, but it was indoors.
I remember.
And so, it is a good opportunity, and I certainly want to promote that. And again, thank the Public Information Office for all that they've been doing on this and on our child abuse prevention. So now moving into the director's report, low-income energy assistance has ended for all practical purposes. The last date to take applications was the end of March. There certainly are a few that are still being processed, but Brian did submit a report to you, and Brian's on the meeting today, so he can update you. But as you saw in the report, as of March 31, we had $87,389 left from our for our slightly over $1 million allocation. We served 3,515 households this year, between a combination of the LEAP monies that were available through the CARES Act, and then the LEAP monies that we had that we normally get each year. And so that was a significant number of folks. And we paid out the 470,000 and the 1 million. So we paid out slightly under $1.5 million in benefits on behalf of our families this year. Brian, I think you've got some updates.
Just the only thing I would add is at this point, as of now, we have $82,389 left of the regular LEAP funding. And like you had indicated, to date, we've assisted 3,515 households. This is almost 700 additional households than were assisted in fiscal year 2019-2020. So we were able to extend this program because of the funding that was received to almost 700 more households than the previous year.
And one thing I would add is that the state, any dollars that are left over from this program this year, the state is anticipating doing some type of a supplemental payment. They did that last year, and I think it was $10 a household, so not a whole lot of money. Don't know if it'll be much more than that this year, but they want to spend all the dollars to support the citizens as opposed to letting it go back. So just wanted to throw that out also. So thank you, Brian. Anybody got any questions about low income energy assistance while we got you on the, while we got Brian here? I think you said you've got 6 apps pending, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, so that would be between 1,800 and 3,000, depending on how much those folks are eligible for. That would be spent out of the remaining 82,000. So not a whole lot to turn back this year. Okay, if no questions on that, the crisis intervention program, you also have that report. You can see that we have taken applications on 4,496 households this year. Of those 2,842 were approved. We've already obligated $670,440, and we have a remaining balance of $327,102. So we are spending our money. A lot of this I know is going to support folks who are struggling with those utilities as they had trouble paying during the pandemic. And we would anticipate as the CDBG grant gets out there, the information about taking applications, we will try to pair the two pots of money together to help folks even more. So so we anticipate some additional dollars being spent and some additional folks being helped. Michelle is on the line in case anybody has any questions of me or her regarding the crisis intervention program. Okay, if not, we'll move on to the Medicaid application processing report. As you see in your chart that you received, we met the criteria this month with everything being processed timely, 94% timeliness, and of course the goal is 90%, both MAD and other Medicaid. When you look at our average Medicaid processing time by looking at the number of days it takes, our MAD applications took 63 days this particular month, and our other Medicaid took 29 days. So both significantly below the mandate or the requirement. The MAD, as you know, we've got that spike there, and as we said, that was one that we are requesting to have a waiver done for, due to the fact that the worker put in the client's birth date instead of the date of application, and we will get that waiver. It'll just take months and months. So you will still see that for a long time, but wanted to share that. Anybody got any questions about the processing report? I can tell you that our Medicaid applications are continuing to grow. They're not going down. They level out a little bit, but they are still growing. So we're still seeing the effects of that. If no questions, I'll move on to the agency personnel report. This is probably one of the best reports we've given on this in quite a while. We only have, as of the date Susan did this report, 18 vacant positions. And we have filled 15 vacancies since the last meeting. So not all of them are on board yet, but they've been accepted. So we have a lot of internal movement. A lot of our, like I know, for example, in adult services, we've got 2 promotions to supervisor, which created a couple of vacancies. So we've got a lot of new supervisors coming on board. We're seeing the same thing in foster care. So people are moving around within the agency. Not all these folks are leaving the agency. As you know, we've had several retirements, and we have had a few resignations. So like I say, we're excited to be getting much closer to what I would call fully staffed. So again, answer any questions. We do have a frozen position that had a large payout. Probably got another one that is, Miss Nellie probably has a large payout. So there'll be some frozen positions, but I will say that the county's been really good about opening those up to us in a much faster fashion than in the past. Anybody got any questions about the vacancy report? If not, that's the end of my report, unless anybody's got any questions for me.
Any update on the budget process, Jan?
The county manager will have his recommendations to the commissioners on the night of May 3rd, I believe, at their regular meeting. And then we will present to the board, to the commissioner shortly after. And y'all might want to discuss whether you want to do a second letter to the commissioners. We did give the letter that you wrote to Mr. Elliott, and certainly, you can decide what you want to do from that standpoint.
Okay, we can discuss that. Thank you. Okay, well, we've moved through this real well. So we are, Ms. Elliott has finished up her report, and we are moving on to board member comments. So any comments from the board before we adjourn?
Mr. Chairman,
Dr.
I would
Bunch?
just like to commend Ms. Elliott on her very fine personnel report this month. I know she's very happy about that. And to commend child welfare on a very, very innovative ways to celebrate Child Abuse Prevention Month. I like the idea about the blue lights on the bridge. I'm going to have to go by there and check it out.
I may see you down there, Dr. Bunch.
Okay, very good.
Okay, any other comments before we adjourn?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I was trying to ask Mrs. Elliott a question. I'm curious about the staff and vaccination. Are you having any problems?
We believe about 60% of our staff have been vaccinated. Everyone that has a desire to be vaccinated has had that opportunity. So, I think that's a pretty good number, 60%. We certainly would like to have 100%, but that is certainly at this point, the decision of the staff member.
I wanted to know because I do know that there is a problem within the community about vaccination, especially among African Americans. They're not even sending their children to school. And, it's hard to get an education when you have most of your students' body being GED. We have a lot of companies coming in, and we need educated students. I'd like to let you know, I think this is a good time to bring this up. The community has come together so that they can provide sanitizers for each student in the schools and masks, because I felt that there was a fear that people was afraid that the school system didn't have what they need. Not saying that they did or didn't, but we need the children to go to school, but we don't want them going to school sick. And that is a social issue that's happening, and for some reason or another. Parents are in charge of their children. It's not the other way around. If it's my child, they would have to go, and they'd have to bring me back a good grade too. So I just wanted to bring that up because there seems to be a lot of concerns floating around in the community about school attendance. These children need to graduate on time, and if you're not in school and you're not doing what you need to do, because I know my grandchildren sometimes supposed to be on virtual and they're playing games. That is not good. So I just wanted to bring that up, and I thought that since this is a social service board meeting, that's a social issue, and it would be a good time to bring that up. I do hope, Mr. Chairman, I appreciate your accepting this comment because it really concerns me.
Thank you, Commissioner. We appreciate your comments. Are there other comments before we adjourn?
I
Okay.
have one thing, if I can interrupt again.
Yes,
May
ma'am.
the 4th at 8:30 is when we are presenting our budget presentation to the commissioners. If anybody wants to watch or whatever, that is the time we'll be doing our presentation.
And that'll be a virtual
It'll be a
presentation?
virtual meeting, yes.
Okay. Thank you for that. And if there are no other announcements or comments,
I move that we adjourn.
could I have a second?
Second.
Dr. Bunch seconds that motion. And Susan, could you call the roll, please, one last time?
Chair Cox,
I agree.
Vice Chair Bunch,
Agree.
Mr. Dancy,
Agreed.
Ms. Nelson,
Agreed.
Ms. Perkins Williams.
I agree.
Thank you. Okay, well, everybody stay safe and we will see you next month, May the 11th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.